Lots of people here today. Thanks very much for taking the time to come and listen to my talk. Effectively, we're going to talk about the validation station today. What the validation station is effectively a novel agent-based approach to delivering affordable, decentralized RPC endpoints. The way that it accomplishes that is by effectively using agents to bid in order to get RPC traffic dynamically delivered to them. Now, why am I even looking at this as a problem? RPCs is a solved problem, right? From my perspective, no, for a number of reasons. The current marketplace is effectively dominated by a few large providers, opaque pricing leading to unpredictable bills, which can be very problematic when you're looking to scale. You want to know how much you're going to pay, you want to know when, and you don't want someone to effectively say, oh, you need to go into the next pricing band at this point. Additionally, you have reliability risks, centralization issues, and of course, the pricing models are effectively built with the oligopoly in mind. So I was sat there while I was trying to solve this problem, and I was like, what problems would we need to solve in order to be able to offer a better decentralized solution to the current providers? So based on that, here's a few pain points I was thinking about. Effectively, with RPC providers, you have node operators and then you have consumers of those node operators, right? So users of the operators want to have cost-efficient, affordable, transparent RPC services. They want failover resilience with automatic routing to alternative providers during periods of downtime. And they want enhanced reliability, ensuring that, for example, when they submit a transaction, it's submitted to multiple validators so they know that it actually gets filled. Additionally, you want dynamic routing that will optimize itself based on where you're geographically located, and you want flexible payments. I'm happy to say that the validation station is, as far as I'm aware, the first application that accepts native OLUS as a payment currency. What that means is that if you run an OLUS operator, you can actually go ahead and use some of your staking yield to pay for the data that you need to operate your staking agent. So from the perspective of operators, those who have the nodes that would want to potentially get additional revenue from running that hardware, think of it as like merge mining. They don't want to manage this solution. They want it to automatically roll out, perform updates, update its pricing models, and they effectively want additional revenue streams, right? So based on all of that, I came up with this architecture here. So I'm just going to talk you through a couple of the entities in this. Up in the top, we have the public gateway. That's where users come in. They effectively connect to RPC brokers who will then effectively route the traffic to a decentralized pool of validators. On the right, I'd like to point out we have failovers. That's effectively Alchemy and QuickNode, which means that, for example, if the decentralized network isn't capable of handling the amount of traffic, the fallback will, in fact, pick that up. So based on this architecture, we can look at it in a little bit more depth. I apologize, highly technical presentation, but off we go. So if we have a look at this flow chart, we can effectively see the communication flows between the different entities in the system. On the left, we've got the users. In the middle, the key core part of this application, the brokers. Now, the brokers effectively allow RPC providers, such as proxy providers, who would be routing traffic directly to, for example, QuickNode, Infura, something like that. Additionally, we've got node providers who would be running light nodes at home, like they're relatively low overhead to run one of those. And on the right, you could potentially hook this system up to pure validators as well, which would mean from the perspective of a validator, you could effectively triple your revenue streams, right? Because not just would you be getting validation rewards, you'd be selling your RPC endpoints that you're already running anyway, and you'd also effectively be getting rewards from the staking pools as well. So Based on that, the brokers themselves actually implement a dynamic performance metric in order to allow them to route that traffic to the providers who are registered with the system, such that the traffic goes to the nodes who are capable of not only handling it, but handling it for a darn good price, shall we say. So I'm not going to go into this maths too much because I'll be honest with you, it's really complicated, lots of numbers, I get confused. Effectively, I'm just going to summarize it. This function is kind of designed to very heavily penalize providers who do not provide incredibly reliable RPC endpoints. It aims for the lowest possible latency, meaning the nodes, the brokers should actually dynamically route the traffic to the nodes who are actually capable of responding quickly enough. And obviously, because nodes will be picking up loads of traffic, they'll have a computational overhead to that, meaning that they will get slower at handling their traffic as more traffic gets routed to them, at which point the brokers will then route less traffic to them dynamically such that they can kind of catch up and recover. Outstanding, there's a number of kind of points there. I'm not going to go into it all. If you'd like to review the slides later, they will of course all be public. Based on this equation, we effectively select the best broker to route each request to at any point in time. We route requests to multiple brokers, especially send transactions, and we also effectively do retries, stuff like that. What does this kind of look like compared to the existing players in the market, right? Because that's really where it's interesting. So I'm not actually 100% certain how much traffic this application is actually capable of handling, but based off of my kind of experience and benchmarking in the area, we can basically say that for less than $400 and about $100 a month, you can run a node locally that is capable of handling at least 100 million requests in about 5.7 days. Now, if you look on the left of this table, you can see our existing providers, QuickNodes, Infura, Nodis. You've got a breakdown of the cost per million up on the top as well. As you can kind of see, if you're trying to do 100 million requests regularly, it can get quite expensive quite quickly. Not only that, but you also get logged into a kind of monthly payment plan, and what if you don't meet all those requests? Now, with the validation station, according to my rough back of the envelope calculations, we would effectively be an order of magnitude cheaper than alternative providers for offering a very similar kind of service. Now, this is all well and good, but what kind of like metrics and specs do we actually need to hit in order to like offer this kind of traffic, right? So this is effectively the standard service level agreements from Chainlink for their RPC failover providers. And these are kind of the metrics that we're looking to hit with this system at an absolute minimum. Now, the application does, of course, have some security and compliance risks, as all of these things do. However, that's obviously something that could be looked at. And yeah, so that's the validation station. It's completely live right now. You can go and have a play with it, route some traffic to it, and yeah. So that's my presentation. Anyone got any questions?